Sage.
Exactly.
Sage, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome one and welcome all.
Good morning. Whew.
That is the morning bell. This is the bell for everyone. Good morning.
Yeah, the morning school bell. We should do the morning announcements.
Exactly. So today at my English school, we will be having a webinar. Please come, take your places. We will now say the national anthem.
Yep. Or we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's what I mean. Oh God, I got confused. I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the
republic on which
it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes.
Okay, you can now take your seats, students. Thank you.
Take your seats.
I thought it was the national anthem. The national anthem is, oh, say, can
you see? Yeah.
Dawn's early light.
Let me write this in the comments. So we have the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's great. I mixed them up. Nicely done. Hey, 2 points for this early morning webinar. In fact, a sip of lovely cold tea.
Okay, here we go. Allegiance. I don't know how to spell allegiance.
Allegiance. Allegiance, I think.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just did the national anthem.
Yeah.
And the comments. These are two different things.
What's the Pledge of Allegiance? What is this all about? Like, why does it exist?
That's a great question. When I describe this to people, they're always really surprised that in the United States, in elementary, every morning we stand up and we say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah. Well, it's Wikipedia says it's an expression of allegiance to the flag of the United States. Such a pledge was a plague. Oh my God.
A plague.
A pledge was first composed by Captain George Thatcher Bulch. The form of the pledge was devised. The official name, okay.
It's changed a lot, apparently.
Exactly.
The Pledge of Allegiance used to be really long. They've shortened it. They've added things. They've taken out things. But it's kind of
done in schools. Do you think so?
Oh, yeah.
It is interesting, isn't it? Do you pledge your allegiance? It seems kind of North Korean in a way.
Yeah, it's very we will follow you, great leader.
Exactly.
But no, for anyone watching, a pledge is kind of like a promise. So it's like a promise that we will follow or be faithful to our country, to our flag. Yeah, it's a little strange to think.
It is strange. If you're watching, let us know if in Italy you have anything like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's theoretically not religious. The idea is
it's not supposed to be.
It does say under God, but God is who you wanted them to be.
Yeah.
It's
and again, that was added later.
Yeah.
I know that's a debate with people in the United States of saying if it should be in or not. But the original one did not include that. It was added later.
I don't love that part of it. Wonder what it said.
Me either. But it's interesting that someone, maybe some particular year with some particular president, they decided to add that in.
Exactly. Yeah, it was written in 1892.
Mm-hmm. Because there is a history of more Christian and Catholic presidents.
Right. No, for sure. I don't think there's ever been a Jewish president.
No, I don't think there's been a different religion.
Well, what was Obama's religion? Wasn't he of
I don't know.
Background? I think. I don't think that he was. I'm not sure actually. I don't know. But what I read yesterday was that Bernie Sanders is now supporting Joe Biden, and an interesting article came out on The Guardian. If you want, I can send it to you.
About Joe Biden?
Well, about how Bernie Sanders told all his supporters, you need to vote for Joe Biden. It's not an option. At this point, you need to vote for Joe Biden, which I thought was interesting. Anywho, so what about the weather? I've been wondering since I woke up all morning. The weather. We can talk about the Pledge of Allegiance, about politics, but really,
The weather.
the weather, right? I mean,
Weather.
these are all very important things in life, right? Government is important. Politics is important. Plants are important. But at the end of the day, Kendra, we can't ignore the weather,
True.
right? The weather has a place in our lives.
It affects us.
I actually waited one extra day to go to the market because of the weather. So the weather had an immediate impact on my life.
Yeah.
2 days
I
ago,
can
it was
understand that.
almost cold.
Yeah, it was really windy.
Yeah, exactly.
2
So I
days
thought,
ago.
I go out once a week. I'm not going to go into the windy day. No, wait. And in fact, yesterday was lovely. It was in the afternoon, about 6 p.m. No, 5:30 p.m. I decided that the time had come
To go
to
to the
venture
store.
out of the house.
Yeah.
We did too. Yeah.
I'll be
Good
going
morning,
this
Danielle and
afternoon.
Florence. How are you?
Hi. Welcome. Monique, we should introduce ourselves.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So I'm Monique from Los Angeles, California, where the weather is always very, very beautiful. They say it never rains in Southern California. And every time I talk to my mom, she says, hello, Monique, how are you? Today the weather is beautiful. And then we talk a couple days later, hello, Monique, today the weather is beautiful again. Whereas maybe in Bologna, it's snowing, it's this, it's that. She's like, oh, in Los Angeles, it's beautiful again. So yeah,
Always beautiful.
with wonderful, wonderful weather.
For me, it's always a surprise. It's like,
Really?
the weather's really nice today. It's like in Seattle. Because normally it's cloudy or rainy. Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Today the sun's out.
Yeah. And Elenia says, today in Florence, it's sunny. Awesome. That leads us well to our intro question, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you like the sun, the moon, and the stars.
So Kendra, do you like the sun, the moon, and the stars by chance?
I like them all.
Yeah, really? Which
I like
do
them
you
all.
prefer? That's a very difficult question.
Yeah, which do I prefer? I do have a very big liking. I really like full moons. So I get really happy if I see a full moon. But I mean, on a day-to-day basis, I prefer to have the sun.
Do you know when the next full moon is?
I don't, but we did have one, I think, about a week ago.
Yeah, I think so too. It's so interesting how it's cyclical, no?
Yeah.
Just goes full moon, 2 weeks later, more or less. New moon, full moon, new moon. I'm looking it up right now. It says that the new moon is on the 23rd of April. So now we're waning. So I'll write that down. The new moon is going to be on the 23rd of April. Where in theory there's no moon in the sky, right? That it's dark.
Yeah.
And I like the sun, I like the moon, and I like the stars. Like you, if I had to choose, I think maybe the moon is my favorite of those celestial beings and planets and whatnot. Because the moon cycles around our planet, whereas we cycle around the sun. So the moon cycles around, the tides change, right? We're 80% water, so it has a direct impact on us. The moon is much closer than the sun as well.
Yeah.
I don't really know the stars per se. I like the stars, but living in a city, I don't really see the stars very much. I know they're there, but I don't really see them. Whereas the moon, well, I haven't seen the moon lately, but it's easier to see because it's a bit larger than the stars. So if you're just joining us, tell us. Hi, Syria. Nice to see you.
It's us. From Bologna.
From Bologna. Yeah.
But as
Do
you were
you
saying, Monique, go ahead, guys. Answer the question in the comments. What do you like? The sun, the moon,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
stars?
you might type like this. You might type like this. That was the probably one of the best, most useful classes I had in
Typing
like
math.
junior high school, high school.
Yep.
In 8th grade, I had a teacher. I don't remember her name, but we had to learn the QWERTY, the keypad. We had to learn how to type.
Yeah.
We had to learn like how to put our fingers and how to type, like type without looking, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
looking at the screen.
useful.
So useful.
Wow. Did you all have a class in that as well?
Yep, we did. And it was in middle school. And we were bad because AOL was like the popular thing at the
Yeah,
time.
I
So
remember.
we would send each other messages on AOL during class
Whoa, how?
because there was internet on the computer. So we would log into our AOLs during our typing class. And when the teacher wasn't by us, we would send each other messages
Well, you were
on
practicing
AOL.
typing.
We were still typing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. It does,
Yeah.
it really makes an impact though now, seeing how much computers are part of our life and that we're typing every
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I still meet people who have to look at the keyboard,
yeah.
which in theory is not the fastest way because then you don't see your mistakes. You have to look
Yeah,
back up and
yeah,
reread.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. Ilenia says, I love the sun. Fantastic. When there's the sun, I'm really happy. The sun is therapeutic for moods. Yes, I agree. Today, I see the sun. Well, I don't see the sun directly, but I do see that the sun is there. I don't have, you said you have the sun that comes into your
I
room.
do. I have my window kind of closed, or else it's really bright.
Let's see, I can use my snazzy whiteboard and write something.
Because our apartment is like, how do I say this? We have windows on the east and then the west side. So the
Nice.
sun comes in through my window, but it sets on the other side of the apartment.
That's really cool. And you have the garden too, which is lovely. But I
Yeah.
wanted to show this. Kendra has direct sunlight, right? Meaning sunlight comes directly into her apartment, whereas my apartment, I guess, is facing, I don't know, facing the dark because because in my apartment there is no direct sunlight. So yesterday, everyone, I bought this plant. Look how cute.
It's so
Isn't that
pretty.
lovely? Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. But I'm sad because it cannot get direct sunlight. So it's unfortunate, no? I don't have an option. I don't know.
And you can't, like, if you put it on the window, there's no way for no sun comes into the window.
I mean, it'll get air, but we don't have direct sunlight, you know. But it is really cute. I must say, it's really adorable. Oh, little plants. I felt like it was time because being so disconnected to nature right now, I just felt like I needed to. Actually, my friend had suggested it also. So I want to
get a
give her
plant.
props later and thank her because that was a cool suggestion. But
Yeah. I want a plant. I'll get one eventually. Should we take a look at
€4.
€4? Oh, okay.
That's
I
a
need to look for
comment.
plants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone, your homework is to get a plant or a flower. Or
Yeah. Get something. Should we look at our focus?
Lovely. Lovely. Da, 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 da.
Yep.
That's
Ta-da.
amazing. Today's weather is beautiful.
It is beautiful, at least here in Bologna. I don't know about other people, but it's really
Well,
nice
I
here.
it's sunny, so that's cool.
Mhm. I keep turning my face towards it.
Hi. Hello, sunshine.
Hello, sunshine. So in this focus activity, we have some weather adjectives, giving advice, and simple past.
Yes. So adjectives we know are descriptive words, right? Words that describe. So good, bad, beautiful, fabulous, wonderful. These are all adjectives, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So some questions for you guys now. Do you want to read the questions, Monique?
I'd love to. Number
Them.
one, what's the weather like now? So be careful in this question. The verb is to be, not to like, right? So what is contracted what's? So what is the weather like now? Shall I read number two as well, or do you want to
I
read?
can.
Okay.
What's the temperature? Is it boiling, hot, warm, cool, cold, or freezing? And those are in order. Boiling, hot, warm, cold, cool, cold, excuse me, and freezing, 0.
Yes. Number three says, do you like this weather now? In this question, the verb is to like, right? So do you like this weather?
Mm-hmm. And the last one, what is your favorite type of weather and why?
Yes. So as you think,
As you type. Monique will play a little bit of music for
a
you.
little bit of harmonica. Think about, do you have any plants at home?
Only my little tulip plant, which isn't doing so well.
So you don't have any herbs at home?
I don't. I think my roommates might have some. It's too bright.
Your roommates have some like in the kitchen or?
No, in like their bedroom on the windowsill.
Oh. Yeah, my roommate has some cactus and little flowers on his windowsill as well. And I put some rosemary on my windowsill, which is kind of cool. I noticed this morning though that the water had dried out.
Oh no.
So I guess they're just there because they're pretty. I mean, they're really pretty anyways. Whatever you do with the nature plants, herbs, it's still really lovely. So
yeah. Now I want to buy, I forget, Sahar has one of these plants. So if you've done a webinar with her, it's like in the background.
Yeah, I've seen it. Is it
I
ivy?
want that. It's called devil's ivy.
Whoa.
Because it's not actually ivy. It has like a normal kind of leaf shape, but it's really easy to take care of because normally I kill plants.
Yeah.
And that's my problem.
Yeah.
But devil's ivy is super easy to take care of.
It looks lovely in the corner of her room, doesn't it? It looks just beautiful. Yeah.
It has a nice way of like hanging down.
Yeah. Awesome. So if you are watching or have questions, let us know, right? The first question, what's the weather like now? Meaning in your city, if you look outside of your window, what's the weather like now? So this type of question means describe, right? Yeah. So if I ask Kendra, what's the weather like now in Seattle, Washington?
Ooh. I don't know. Let's see.
I could call my mom and say, Mom, what's the weather like in Los Angeles? And I can almost guarantee you that she will say it's beautiful.
Oh, right now it's sunny.
Wow. That's amazing. At 1 in the morning.
At 1 in the morning, it's maybe a different word we can use since it's 1 a.m. So it's nighttime. It's clear.
It's clear. Great adjective. Yeah. So for everyone watching, Kendra and I both come from the same time zone. It's the same time in the cities we're from, right? So it's in Los Angeles and in Seattle and in Kent and in Portland and in San Francisco. It's 9 hours earlier. So if it's
behind.
Yeah, before. So if it's 10 a.m. here, it's 1 a.m. Wouldn't you say earlier? I look at it as
9 hours before, like 9 hours behind.
Behind, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see Elenia is sharing here. Lovely. So she says, today in Florence, it's sunny and quite hot. Wow. I really like this weather because I love the sun. When there's the sun, people are happier. I agree with you, Ilenia. This is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Because of the vitamin D.
Yes, vitamin D, exactly. I don't know where else we can get vitamin D except from the sun.
The sun is definitely the main source. I think there are some foods, but not
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
there's not a lot of vitamin D in the foods.
soon we
Vitamin
will get some vitamin D. We don't
D.
know when, but at some point soon.
Yeah, I try my best to be in the sun. I try. Either I'll sit by my window or I'll step outside my apartment just to
Really?
try and get some sun.
Wow, that sounds awesome. I haven't done
Because
that at all.
I'll go crazy without any sunshine. You should try and do that, Monique. Even just step outside your apartment for a second and then go back in.
Yeah, I could take a walk maybe, like just walk around the block, you know. Probably not a bad idea, but then I have to change out of my what are these penguin pajamas?
Your penguin pajamas?
They're so cool. I love these penguin pajamas.
I love it. Ooh, we have another one. Syria says, I like this weather because you can, at the sun is comfortable. We need a verb after can, Syria. You can sit in the sun.
You can look at the sun, maybe.
Look at the sun. But I don't think looking at the sun is comfortable.
I don't think so. You can dream of the sun. You can, yeah, probably sit in the sun. You can lounge in the sun.
Yeah, or like, yeah, even just to be in the sun.
Yeah, you can be in the sun, exactly. But it is very nice. The weather in Bologna today is very, very nice. I wonder how many degrees it is. I don't know.
With can, we always need a verb after it. The infinitive.
Like, I can speak English. I can't, no, I don't want to say I can't cook, but I can't cook homemade tagliatelle.
Okay. Me either.
Yeah. I can ding the bell. Cool. So nicely done, everyone. Nicely done.
Should we look at our next slide? Why not?
So I'll get my harmonica.
Dun-dun-dun.
Snowy snow. Snowy snow. So we see an adjective there, snowy, describing the noun, snow.
Exactly. And we need to match these adjectives to the image. Do you want to read the adjectives while I find some?
Yeah, I would love to. So the adjectives we see, which are descriptive words, are sunny, foggy, rainy, snowy, cloudy, windy, humid with that pronounced H, right?
Humid.
Exactly. Humid. Try it at home. Humid and stormy. So we want to match these 8 adjectives to these 8 images.
Exactly. Starting with
you can
A.
stay at the sun. So you can stay in the sun. Good. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful, Syria. Yeah, you can stay in the sun. Good. Okay, guys, tell us in the comments. Let's start with A. What's A? What adjective goes with A?
Easy, right? Because it's very little.
They're little tiny pictures. I think they're bigger for them, maybe.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, because you can make the screen larger. Oh, I can do that too. I just did. Very cool.
What?
All right, lovely. Technological discoveries, day in, day out. Very cool.
So tell us in the comments, guys. We're waiting for those answers. Type away, type away. I know some students like to go A, B, C in their whole answer.
Exactly. Which is impressive.
Which is okay. It is impressive. Yeah. And I think these are almost like all of the weather adjectives. There might be a few more.
I mean, the only one missing is gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some ant. Ooh,
Okay.
there,
Yeah,
Elenia.
there we go. Just like you had predicted.
But Syria did them separate. Okay, so we'll check that out. So we have a guess for A, cloudy. All right. Very good. B, snowy. Do you want a ding? I went too fast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I do. Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Or harmonica.
Oh,
Which instrument do you want, Moni?
yeah. Okay.
Then C, we have rainy. Let's see, did Elenia guess C? Yes, she did right here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Rainy, good. What about D?
Beautiful, dark and purple colors. Lovely.
Yeah, I see D for stormy. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Good job, you guys. I'm going to hide this now because now looking at E, what do we got? Someone said
Yeah,
foggy.
basically Veneto. If anyone knows the Veneto region, it is so foggy in winter. You cannot see sometimes when you're driving. It gets so foggy. Yeah.
So foggy. So 3, 2, 1. Foggy. Good. They're fast. Okay. Then F, I see windy. Actually, the city where my mom is from, it's really foggy.
Where is she from?
She was, I think, born in Atwater, California, which is near Merced.
Oh, interesting.
Like it gets really foggy.
Wow. That's cool.
Like you can't see like when you're driving at all.
Wow. That's wild.
Then F. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Windy.
Yeah, windy. Like we talked about the flags before, right?
Mm-hmm. It was windy 2 days ago in Bologna.
Yes, it was very windy. Good usage of the past simple.
Mm-hmm. It was very windy. Haha. And let's see. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. G. Sunny. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ding. And then, so the last one, H, is humid. Great. Whoa.
Humid. It looks like the tropical rainforest, that picture. That picture looks like Guatemala. It looks like Tikal, which is a rainforest in Guatemala.
Yeah. I was talking with a student about this. Technically, humid is when there's water in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But I know when we speak as English speakers, normally we think humid for wet and hot weather.
Yeah, that's true.
Not for wet and cold.
Right. I think it's, the water, the condensation in the air of the water that makes it uncomfortable often, right? Like humid, hot, very sticky, and right. And then I don't know about humid, cold. That's interesting though.
Yeah, I think when it's like if we live in a place that does have a lot of community or humidity, I said community, has a lot of humidity, which is the noun. We don't always describe it as humid unless it's hot.
That's true.
We might call it like a wet climate or a dry climate.
Well put. That's interesting.
I know Italians will sometimes say, like even in the winter in Bologna, it's humid. But
very true.
We wouldn't say that.
No.
It's just a wet.
Yeah.
I'm going too fast. Sorry.
No worries. Well, what city is that in the picture? Can anyone tell us what city that is? Do you know, Kendra? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever.
Guess like Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Or like somewhere in Northern Europe.
Northern Europe. Yeah. Somewhere in the Benelux region, right?
Definitely. So for this slide, guys, we have it's always sunny in ... So we're going to use some adverbs of frequency,
But what
which
are
are
adverbs of frequency?
these.
Aha! So frequency meaning how often, frequently. In fact, usually the question is how often do you eat sushi? How often do you eat tagliatelle? Then we have an adverb of frequency to describe how frequently, right? How often. Yeah.
How often?
Yeah.
So we want you to answer the questions in the comments, but try to use some adverbs of frequency about the weather in your city. Do you want to read the questions, Monique?
Yeah. So number one says, what's the weather usually like in your city? Right?
Mhm.
What's the weather usually like? So usually would be our adverb of frequency. Number two, what's the weather usually like in spring, summer, autumn, winter? And number three, what's the weather usually like in Paris, Tokyo, London, New York?
Hmm.
You could also tell us what's the weather usually like in Palermo,
Yeah.
in Casalecchio, in Budrio, in Greve in Chianti, right? What's the weather usually like there?
Yeah. Tell us about maybe some different cities.
Yeah. What's the
But
weather usually like in Pullman, Washington?
Pullman, Washington, where I went to university. Pullman is, I would say, usually sunny.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. But it's different in spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Um,
Mhm.
in summer and in fall, because I'm American, not British, it's sunny. Winter, it's usually snowy and
Now it's interesting.
cold.
Mhm.
Also, summer is very, very hot, but
Wow.
winter is very, very cold.
Mhm.
And spring is a disaster.
Is it colder in Pullman than in Seattle or
Oh,
Kent?
yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I always forget what Celsius is. Let me look this up.
Yeah, so everyone we use Fahrenheit in the United States, right? We just for some reason use Fahrenheit. So in Los
Yeah.
Angeles, for example, it's always sunny. It's always sunny. And the temperature in Fahrenheit is usually around 60, 70, or 80 degrees in that range, right? Which is
Yeah.
not the same here. Here is be Celsius, right?
Yeah. So in the winter, like at night, it can range from, I'm going to use Fahrenheit and then say Celsius, from -10 to -20 Fahrenheit. And so that in Celsius would be -23 to like -28. So
Was it
very,
difficult spending winter, that like being at school there during winter?
yeah, because you have to like walk or take the bus if you don't have a car. And I remember there was one year it was really cold, and I was wearing like multiple pairs of pants. I had like an actual like winter jacket with lots and lots of layers, and I could still feel the cold. Like
Wow.
we say it, like it bites or it cuts into the clothes, so you feel it.
Wow. That's intense.
It was really cold.
Yeah. Much
But
colder than Bologna?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Hardcore.
The weather is more dry. It's a drier climate over there, but it's still like really cold, colder than Bologna.
Yeah. Wow. We have Ilenia who shared, she says, in Florence, the weather is usually sunny and very hot during the summer. In winter, it is always cold and sometimes freezing. Excellent. Excellent usage of sometimes and always. Well done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Syria said in Bologna, the weather is varied. Good. In winter, it is usually cold, humid, and sometimes there is fog. In summer, it is humid and warm. I would say
Nice.
hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, Syria, careful with humid. In English, we tend to use humid for when the weather is humid and hot. There must be heat.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. But nicely done, everyone. Good answers. What about though number 3? Number 3 is asking, what's the weather usually like in Paris, for example? So think of a city, one of these cities or another city that you like. What's the weather usually like there, right? So I said in Los Angeles, it's usually sunny. It's pretty much always sunny. Almost always sunny. In the desert, it's usually hot. Have we talked about Joshua Tree? Have you been to Joshua Tree?
You've told me about it, but I don't know if I've been.
Oh, it's beautiful. I just love Joshua Tree. Have you been to Death Valley? Did we talk about that too?
I'm pretty sure. At least I think I've driven through it.
Death Valley is extreme. The temperatures are extreme because it's the desert and it's white. It's called Death Valley because when people were moving out west, like in the 1800s, people would die in that valley because it was so extreme of temperatures, right? So it gets extremely hot during the day and extremely cold at night. So the temperature is difficult to manage as human beings, right?
Yeah.
So beautiful, though.
I'm trying to see where is.
Let's see other cities. I know about Anyadir, which is in Siberia, and the weather is always cold. I think today it's like minus 10 degrees.
Okay. In Syria?
No, in Siberia.
Siberia. I was looking because I've heard about Death Valley. I don't actually now I looked at a map. I don't think I've been to Death Valley, but I think I told you what?
I think it's on the border with Nevada, no?
Yeah, it's like right over there. I think I've normally stayed more on the coast when I've gone south. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I have to ask my dad. He would know.
Really? But your mom's the one from California, right?
Oh, they both are.
That's wild. Where's your dad from?
So he was born in Bishop, which I just looked is north of Death Valley. And my mom was born near Merced.
And where did they meet?
They met at San Diego University.
Oh, how neat. So they cover the whole state then.
Yeah.
And how is it that your grandmother lives in El Centro?
My dad eventually moved to El Centro. Like he was in Bishop for a while and then they moved to El Centro.
And what led him to move there?
I have no idea. I'd have to ask my grandparents.
Very interesting. So then his parents moved as well.
Yeah, I think they moved as a family to El Centro. I don't remember how old my dad was when he moved. But when I've gone with him to El Centro and we've driven, excuse me, he always would point because there's a lot of like kind of like dunes because it's a desert. And he would say, "Oh, I used to ride my dirt bike out here."
That's cool.
So I'm pretty sure he was like a teenager.
That is really cool. Yeah, I see it's like 2.5 hours from like Palm Springs, from Joshua Tree.
El Centro.
That's beautiful. That's so cool. I've never been there to El Centro.
I think my grandma and my grandparents have also really just liked the desert.
Oh, that's so lovely.
So
love the desert. Syria here is sharing with us saying, I don't know.
Oh.
Fair enough, Syria. That's a very honest answer. Totally
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I don't know what the weather's usually like in Paris or Tokyo, but I know in London, I would say it's usually rainy.
Yeah, it's usually. So the question isn't what is the weather like? It's what is it usually like? What is it generally like, right? Usually, generally, yeah. And I would say in New York right now, well, I talk to my brother often. My brother lives in New York, and I think the weather's okay right now. I think today it's okay, but it's usually, no, it changes a lot. The weather in New York is very varied. As Syria said before, it's
Or
varied.
Bologna, it's varied. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it really depends on the season,
exactly, exactly.
except for in London and Seattle.
Right, exactly.
We have 3 seasons with the same weather.
Yeah, yeah.
Cloudy and rainy, cloudy and rainy, cloudy and rainy. Well, we can look at our next slide,
I'm
Syria.
ready. Okay.
Ding.
Ding, my little ding.
So I wonder if I have a banner for this. I don't know.
Advice, yeah.
Advice. Monique, what's advice?
Yeah, good question. Advice is like suggestions, recommendations, right? So I say, Kendra, it's cold. You should wear a jacket. Or let's see here, Kendra, it's really early. You should have a coffee, right? Like suggestions, advice, good ideas, right? Maybe it's raining. You should bring an umbrella, right? Advice.
Yeah. And we tend to use the modal verb for advice, should.
Mm-hmm. You should call your mom. That's always a good example.
Yeah. Call your mom. Call your family, everyone.
Maybe tonight. Maybe tonight.
I talked to her last night, actually.
Is she doing okay?
Yeah, she's doing fine.
So sweet.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I'm wondering if this is a Washington thing, but we received money from the government,
Wow.
which I wasn't expecting because I live in Italy.
How so? Like what? Through what?
I think it's coming from, let me go back and look. I think it said like the IRS.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, because April 15th, yesterday was the would have been the tax filing deadline, but it wasn't because they extended it.
Extended it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Let me
How
go and
much
look.
came in?
$1,200. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it says credit, IRS.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, Kendra. Thanks for telling me. I'll look into it. I mean, my residency is here, even as a U.S. citizen, but that's really interesting.
Because I don't know if I ever like changed it. I think because I still file my taxes in the United States.
Yeah.
It
I
like
want my mom to look out for that, though. That's really
yeah. If you have a U.S. bank account still, go ahead and check it.
Wow. Can you imagine? That would be really good.
I was really shocked. I was like, cool. I can put some money into savings.
Yeah, that's a really nice surprise. Wow.
Yeah.
Lenya says, it's snowy. You should go skiing. Fantastic. Yeah. Really good example. Really good
Great
example.
advice.
Yeah, we also says it's warm and sunny. You should go sunbathing, or it's snowy. You should go skiing, as Ilenia said.
Mm-hmm. So we have some more for you guys, and the example is at the top. Maybe, for example, I'm going to London in the spring, and so I need to ask you, what's the weather like in London in the spring? What should I wear, and what should I do?
Good question. Yeah. So what's the weather like in London in spring? So now it's springtime, right? What's the weather like in London in spring?
Oh, and Syria answered us too. It's snowy. You should drink a hot chocolate. Yes, I agree.
I had hot chocolate on Monday.
You did?
Yeah.
Awesome. You know what I've been doing? I've been making a lot of cappuccinos.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I'm trying to perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great suggestion, Syria. Fantastic. Yeah. So what about the example? I'm going to London in the spring. Let's say, next spring. What is the weather like in London in spring? What should I wear? So to wear, like, for example, I should wear my English school shirt. Da, da, my, da, 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 da. I should wear my English shirt for teaching the webinar. Or I should wear my coat because I'm a little chilly. I'm a little cold right now. So what should I wear and what should I do? What should I do? So Kendra, if I visit Pullman, Washington, what should I do?
What season? In the spring.
Spring.
What should you do? You should see I'm trying to think. You should see a basketball game.
Cool.
You should go to the museum.
Nice.
You should visit Moscow, which is a city nearby.
What state is Moscow in?
It's in Idaho.
Cool. Idaho. So Northwest geography for everyone.
Yeah. And that way you can drive through the Palouse, which are these hills for the area. And then you can go to some nice restaurants in Moscow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because if we say the city in Russia is Moscow, right? But then if you talk about the drink, is it a Moscow Mule or it's Moscow, or is it Moscow Mule?
I think Moscow Mule.
You could say Moscow. No, you would say Moscow.
Yeah, but Idaho, it's Moscow.
What?
In Idaho, they pronounce it as Moscow.
Mm-hmm. Is there any connection between Russia and Idaho?
I don't think so. There was a joke for people who said Moscow, Idaho, they would always say, we're not in Russia, we're in Idaho. So nice. Moscow.
Okay. And probably in Moscow, Russia, they say, this is not Moscow, we're not in Idaho, we're in Russia.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
They probably don't even know. There's
at least one person from Moscow.
At least one person. Uh-oh, we lost Monique for a second. Okay. Don't know what happened to Monique, but let's see. Elenia just responded. In London, the weather is usually, there she is, changeable during the spring. Ooh, changeable. I might change this adjective. The weather is variable.
Yeah, because changeable is going to always be true for the weather, right? This is a constant. Weather is constantly changing, whereas variable would be more it varies, right?
Yeah.
Varies.
When you say changeable, it seems like we can change it.
Able to be changed by us, right? So I say today will be beautiful and sunny.
Yeah.
We control the weather, Mother Nature.
Yeah, but it may be usually variable during the spring. You should wear a pullover and a jacket. Very good.
Very nice. Yeah, you should wear a pullover and a jacket. Excellent. So we're coming up just about the end of our webinar. Remember two things. If you have any questions, you can ask us. Remember, direct sunlight. Light that goes directly on you. Remember, it's clear, meaning there are no clouds.
No clouds.
Clear. And vitamin D. Yay, that you get from the sun. Okay. Let us
good for you.
Questions or anything. Remember, you can go to the Myes SOS Facebook group at any time. Yeah, Facebook page. I think it's a group, is it not?
I don't know.
Oh, page. Okay. You can continue studying even beyond the time of the webinars. In 10 minutes, there will be another webinar on this fine channel.
It is a group. You're right. Okay.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, stick around. There's another webinar in 10 minutes. And you guys have a great day. We'll see you later.
We actually still have 30 seconds to say hello.
Really?
Yeah.
50 though.
Oh, okay. Great.
We just started like 30 minutes late, or 30 seconds late. About 30 minutes.
30 minutes. All right. Thank you, everyone. Then have a
Bye,
fantastic
everyone.
day. Bye. Cheerio.
Bye.